is Mo.
Hey, Maul. Good to hear you out there. Yeah, I heard you break in there, kind of doubled with Grandpa. But, yeah, that's why I took the big pregnant pause there, just to let you jump in there.
Sure. Good to hear you up in there. I was out here looking for materials and building a bracket for a gate. And I thought, well, I should see what's happening on the radio. And sure enough, I saw movement. I thought I'd go ahead and spike the mic and say hello. And I got you streaming live on YouTube, by the way.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a long time, but good to hear you out there. Yeah, just touching base with Grandpa, making sure he's doing okay with all this stuff going on. So he said he's got plenty of supplies, so he's doing good.
Yep. Talked to him earlier, and yeah, I've got everything all pretty much under control over here too. And well, we'll see where it goes. I guess trying to keep contact with people to a minimum, which isn't very hard for me to do there, Break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty tough, but RF contact, I guess, is good. Can't catch it that way.
No, RF contact is good. And I thought maybe we'd have a little bit more of that since more people would be staying at home. You know, you thought more people would be burning up the airwaves, turning the ionosphere into plasma, that kind of thing. But it hasn't really picked up much, so I guess there's still a bunch of it in Mother Nature's court to break.
Yeah, good deal. Well, I've seen several of your videos there, you know, your live recordings and some of that on Channel 6, so you're getting a little more time in the hobby anyways. I don't think the skips have been in all that much, but yeah, it's been, you know, a little better than it has been in a while.
Yeah, I've been getting more time since I've been up here now, you know, doing this thing. So it's kind of nice to have, you know, the station a 45-foot walk away from the front door. Not too shabby. So sounds like your modulator is working real good. And Grandpa Jones's modulator is working real well. And I heard Jelly Belly out there earlier too. His 5/8 wave isn't too happy, but his radio sounds good.
Yeah, he was planning on, I think, going up and getting his tower. But yeah, with all this going on, I was trying to get him a trailer out of the base, but it was reserved for this weekend, so I couldn't get it. And so I guess maybe, you know, next weekend, the weekend after, we can pick it up with that. Because I think Tripp was going to put it up on his rack, on his pickup, but that might be a little difficult for that distance. I think he has to go up to Lemoore. He said Lemoore is where he's going to pick this tower up. So I figured if he got a nice car hauler, that would work probably a little better than the roof rack, and more people could help him out.
Yeah, absolutely. A car hauler would be the prime way to do that. And, wow, I wonder if he's getting it from Witch Doctor. I know Witch Doctor lives up in Lemoore, but I know he goes to Lemoore for family-related stuff. So it might be somebody in the family, but I'm glad he's getting the tower. That's going to be awesome. Man, I'll tell you, that's going to help him out a whole bunch.
Yeah, I think he's pretty excited about it. So good deal. Well, anyways, good talking to you. Yeah, the modulator's working good. I had that catastrophic failure in that 305 power supply. I was building a computer, and all of a sudden I started smelling. I just booted the computer up, and I started smelling this electrical burn, and I'm saying to myself, oh man, this is not good. I just turned this computer on and got it all built, nice, ready to go, and I smell this burning smell. So my wife said, no, it's not coming from in here. I was building it in the dining room. It's coming from the radio room. So sure enough, I went in here, and the thing just lost probably the the transistor and took out everything. I mean, everything. So I ordered another one and built it all back up again, and it seems to be working. I didn't check the output voltage before I built it all up. Turns out the max coming out of this thing's about 28 volts. But seems to be working okay. I don't know what the modulator's minimum voltage requirement is, but 28 volts seems to be pretty constant. That's the max I can get out of it.
Oh, you can run the modulator down to plus minus 12 and plus 12 on the high voltage. You just won't have any real peak power output. You have to turn everything down, but you can run it down real low. So 24, 28, 26, 20, as long as you're getting the peak power that you need. And it sounds like everything's working beautiful on this end. I mean, I got a short little water gate rolling here. Let me, here, check this out real fast.
Anyway, it's good talking to you. Yeah, the modulator's working good. I had that catastrophic failure in that 305 power supply. I was building a computer, and all of a sudden I started smelling.
I won't play the whole thing, but yeah, it sounds good. Beautiful. Good bandwidth, and yes, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. Yeah, it's. I'm sure there's a way to correct the output voltage. There's probably some component that don't have a schematic, and could even be a potentiometer or something that's out of tolerance. Who knows? But as long as it's working, that's all I care.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, that's your 305D is a linear supply, right? Not a switcher.
That's correct. Yeah, and so is the one I bought. It's a linear. I didn't think I was going to end up with one, but sure enough, it's virtually identical to the original one.
Very cool. Yeah, I guess when I was getting those a while back, I was using those power supplies, and I would go by the weight. You'd see the specs, and if it was a heavier one, then it was probably a linear, and if it was lighter, it was probably a switcher. Even though they both said 305D and they both looked the same, I just went by the weight. One of them was going to weigh more. So anyway, that's how I did that. But then I got away from those, and I used those little $8, I forget what they're called, but they're little DC to DC boost. Take 12 volts in and give you 30 volts. And they work really, really good. So, and they're small.
Well, I picked up some separate components, and my plan is to build a standalone supply, a little more reliable down the road. I'm still picking up components here and there, but yeah, my plan is to do something a little different, but just as a backup, because it did take a couple of weeks before I got everything done just because of time. And this one came out real nice. I mean, it's probably better than the original, but yeah, I'm going to do something else a little different, and it would be nice to actually have the radio and everything in one cabinet. So I'm going to be working on that down the road here, but probably have to get a modulator board from you, sometime down the road, just so I have an additional one for backup.
10-4. Yeah, I talked to Dave earlier this week, or last week, whatever it was. Anyway, I talked to Dave and let him know I need some more, so I'll have more in stock here before long. And right now I'm out of them, but they've been going quick. I think more people are staying at home and doing the hobby thing, and radio and whatnot. And so they're buying more modulators. So it's a good thing, good for the hobby. But yeah, I'll have more soon. Hopefully in the next couple of days or a week or so, I'll have some more from Dave.
Well, there's no hurry, but yeah, cool. Well, I'll let you know when I'm kind of ready to do that. Probably won't be too long, but I'll give you a heads up, and just, if you don't have a commitment, just hang on to one and I'll get it from you one way or the other. You probably don't come into town quite as often as you have in the past if you're living up there now, but yeah, we'll get together one way or the other.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, no, I don't. I come into town if I need to buy something. But for the most part, no, I can stay out here. It's kind of cool. Um, I save a lot in gas. You know, when I was living in the house down there by you, I was coming out here to the ranch like every day. Sometimes make 2 trips, and then go home at night. You know, and all that. Now I'm here, so I save a whole lot of traveling.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, let's see, used to call that duckmobile or whatever. Anyways, that probably burns up quite a bit of fuel. I don't know. Maybe not. It's diesel, so you probably do all right. But yeah, saving, going back and forth, kind of gets old, and it takes a while too. So yeah, it's probably one of those things where you're probably glad you don't have to travel back and forth every day now.
Yeah, it's pretty good on fuel. It gets like, I don't know, 17 around town, about 24 on the highway. And, you know, yeah, it's a diesel, so it does real well. I'm looking to start working on the 70 Chevy before too long. I want to get it drivable. It's been sitting there with no engine. Well, it's got the engine in it, but the other engine has to go in it. So I got to take that apart and get into automotive mode again here, and get that one working. But yeah, the Jeep actually does pretty well because it's got the double overdrive. You know, I've got the Brownie box behind the 5-speed, and it's got 354 gears and plenty of torque. You know, I mean, there's no. I can leave the Brownie box in high, and put the transmission in 2nd gear, and take off out of the hole like nothing. So it's got gobs of torque. It's not like I need lower gears, and I don't haul anything. I don't tow anything heavy. So, you know, anything lower than a 354 wouldn't do me any good. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind having like some 273s. You know, it's got so much I can use 1st gear. And it's got, if I was some 273s in there, my God, I could really get some good fuel economy. And I you know, I don't have a front drive shaft, so so it's only 2-wheel drive, and no transfer case. And I unlocked the hubs, so yeah, it would do real good if I had some 273s or something in there.
Good deal. Well, yeah, as long as you don't doesn't get too muddy out there. I guess we're supposed to get some more rain tomorrow. They're looking at about a half an inch, I guess, tomorrow evening. Thunderstorms and the whole works, so hopefully we get a little more rain. I kind of like it. It's greening my lawn up really good, so don't have to use as much water.
Oh man, I tell you, everything is getting beautiful. The hills are turning green. My top field is turning green and looking really nice. So yeah, I'm all on board for the rain. If it, you know, a half an inch in the evening will be all right, I suppose. It's going to rain tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we'll be in for quite a bit of rain all at once. And, you know, whatever we've had before, at least it's finally soaked in. So I think we'll be able to absorb a little bit more. So that's good. And then, of course, it's going to help out our water table. And that's a good thing.
How about it, Motor Mouth?
Who was that?
Bananas in his mobile.
Oh, my God.
Is it working?
Oh, yeah, it's working.
I'm just on a little 4-foot fire stick that's mounted to the frame of my car.
Sounds like a real thin antenna.
It's just a 4-foot fire stick.
10-4. You should see a video I made of what I did to a 5-foot fire stick. Anyway, that's working good. And hey, Nighthawk, before we get out of here, how's the audio sound? I made a little change on the audio session. I don't know how it's doing over there on your end, but I kind of altered things a little bit here. And just about, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes ago, I was in the dummy load and I put it's a 8-band compressor limiter in line along with everything else that I had. So I'm just curious how it sounds.
Sounds great. Sounds just like you. Yeah, I knew right away it was you, and sounded really good.
Roger, no excessive pumping or odd suppression of any background noise that trails the words or in between words.
No, I don't hear anything at all. I mean, it sounds. I've been talking to you for quite a while now, and sounds absolutely flawless to me. But then I'm not the best judge for audio quality. I don't have the best set of ears, but sounds really good to me. You might ping Grandpa if he's still online. He seems to do pretty good, giving you a good radio check.
10-4. Well, Grandpa?
Tell him about the paper. Tell him about the one fat paper at a time.
Oh yeah. By the way, Nighthawk, I was making toilet paper earlier. I had the toilet paper machine turned on, and I had the door opened up, and I think now it's where is it? If I have the machine running, oh yeah, so the machine is still running. I think it's in the background here, but I got to open the door up so you can actually hear the machine here. There's a machine in the background. That there is printing toilet paper. It's synthesizing toilet paper, and it puts them out at about 1 sheet per minute, or I should say 1 sheet per second. That's quicker than a person could cheat. I mean, and then they get used. So anyway, got that going.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's a wanted commodity these days. That toilet paper. It's starting to slack off a little though. I noticed some of the stores have a few of them in there, so hopefully the hoarders are done doing that for a while. So the rest of us that don't hoard can at least get a pack a week or whatever. But now that I know you got a machine, I'll have to make sure and keep that in mind.
10-4. Yeah, it's going pretty good. I saw a couple people, they were growing their own. One guy had a tube of toilet paper, and he has some toothpicks in it. It was sitting in a glass with some water. So I think there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. And sometimes that works too if you dry out the fur real good. And anyway, oh, whoops. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, Jackie and I, we didn't hoard anything either. We had our usual, we always keep about, 6 to 8 rolls in the house with the 2 different bathrooms. Like 3 rolls in each bathroom and 1 on the thing. And we didn't buy any extra. When all this stuff started happening, we didn't even go to the store. We said, screw it, we'll get there when we need it or whatever. Or I just make some more, But, yeah, no hoarding here.
Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, because, there's a lot of people out there for a while.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, it's a funny thing. Oh, it's kind of odd when you go to a store and realize that every single shelf is empty. And all the hoarders have come in, done their thing, and anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what all to believe there. But, is that playing right? Yeah, I guess it was playing right. I probably shouldn't play too much of that or the copyright police will probably get on me. But anyway, yeah, it's weird. I've heard all kinds of different things. Heard all kinds of different, what do you call them, conspiracy theories and, disease-related items. And then, heard some interesting cures, things that may or may not supposedly help the situation once you contract a virus. Anyway, kind of a trip. But yeah, pretty bad. Even small communities, are they're acting like a bunch of idiots. And I think to be reasonable isn't a bad thing. People are still going to get to go to the store, and at some point in time, the store owners and managers will get smart and start limiting. They should have done it from the start, limiting the number of items a person can purchase of one particular thing. To give some of the elderly and other people who work for a living and can't get to a doggone store quick enough. Give them a chance to get what they got to get, you know. But, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, pretty soon they're going to start calling you Art.
Sure. Well, I just figured as long as we were talking about coronaviruses and all that kind of stuff, I figured it was appropriate.
Yeah, no doubt. That was funny. That's awesome.
But anyway, yeah, it's just it's going to happen as it's going to happen. I guess they're saying now it could take as much as a month, and it's a lot of time to be, you know, practicing this social separation stuff. But yeah, it's pretty easy for me to do.
Yeah, Roger. I guess they were saying one of the easiest ways to contract it is the gas station, at the gas pump. So just keep that in mind when you're getting gas. Alrighty, well, we're tying this channel up here pretty good, but it was sure good talking to you. And got a chance to talk to Grandpa. That was good. Talked to Country Bear a little bit earlier. So I think we're going to take a standby here and probably pretty soon going to fire up the pit and have a little dead bird tonight.
Sounds good. Okay, I'll get back on the side and read the mail for a little bit. And I just put the YouTube video up here so you can hear your you and Grandpa. Well, I guess Grandpa won't hear it until he gets to somebody's place with YouTube, but or Facebook. But well, no, YouTube. But anyway, I put it out there in case you wanted to log in and give a listen to it.
I'll do that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think I've heard myself since I rebuilt this thing. Everybody says it sounds about the same. I did have a little problem with let's see, what was it? I had a hum, and the hum was what I did is I put an SWR meter before the linear to see if I could set my dead carrier at about 3/4 of a watt. And with that SWR meter, before the linear, even if it was just a short piece of coax, and I tried long and short, I got a buzz with my audio. As soon as I pulled it out of line, worked great. So not sure what that was all about, but I'm just using the scope now to set it up, and I've got my negative peaks set so they occasionally hit about 100%, but for the most part they stay probably around 95, 90, something like that. So that's probably about where we want to be. And then the positive peaks are, you know, hitting about 120, 130, depends.
That's about where I keep mine. Same thing. And you know, that buzz you heard may very well have been not really on the air. It has to do with possibly how your receiver is acting to the field, the local field. AM is a funny thing. You can create a buzz in your receiver that doesn't really exist. And then depending on how you move things around, the angles of the way, the angles that the wires cross each other, the coax proximity to other wires, and all kinds of things will create what sounds like a 60-cycle hum. But in reality, the 60-cycle hum isn't really there on the air. So, yeah, kind of annoying and aggravating. But, yeah, you got that thing right. And, you know, as long as the scope is happy with what you're doing, do whatever it takes to make the scope happy. And sounds like you succeeded. It sounds real good.
Oh, Rogers. Yeah, the buzz was going over the air, though. Jelly Belly said, oh, yeah, I hear the buzz. It wasn't real predominant. I mean, it was just barely in there, but, and also Trip heard it. So I thought, well, the only thing I changed was putting a meter before the amp. And sure enough, I pulled it out of line and went back to working perfect. So I'm just going to have to live with it that way. But like you say, the scope's the best way to adjust it anyways. But I thought for, you know, a little reference point, it was nice to have an SW or a power meter that told me when I was sitting right at 3/4 of a watt versus trying to figure it out. But I don't think the radio is all that accurate. And so, anyways, but that's the way I've been running it ever since, and nobody's complaining. So, and you say it sounds good, so that's the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. So, because if it sounds weird, you'll say so.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful, absolutely perfect, and it's bizarre that the cable would do that. Well, you know that. While we're on the topic, a lot of people will talk about jumper lengths and what's the right jumper length and so on and so forth. And the reason there is no right jumper length is because very seldom is a input of an amplifier actually 50 ohms plus or minus J0. So there's always going to be a phase angle issue. There's always going to be an impedance, complication due to some complex either capacitive or inductive reactance. So anyway, what you'll find, and especially if things are out of whack, what you'll find is a particular jumper length that will allow you to make the same power. Let's say you key up a dead carrier and you key up 50 watts, whatever it is. You want to pick a jumper length between the radio and the meter and the amplifier and all that, whatever's involved. You want to pick a jumper length that requires less drive to get the same carrier. You don't really want to make more power, but you want to see what coax will allow you to turn the carrier down on the radio and still maintain the same power. And whatever that is the best. Now, in perfect world and theory, it doesn't work that way. But in real world, in practice, that does work. And then, of course, the same thing would happen if you had another amplifier after that one. You would do the same thing. You would change the jumper between the amplifier and the big box until you got a lesser amount of drive required to maintain a given amount of carrier. And that's it. Once you get to that situation, you're good to go. And but in a perfect world, every amplifier and every antenna should be 50 ohms plus or minus J0, non-reactive, pure resistive load. And if that's the case, then a 50 ohm coax can be any length. Length doesn't matter or wouldn't matter. But because of things being the way they are, and the world not being perfect, and the amplifiers being not exactly 50 ohms plus or minus J0, things are the way they are. And that's the way to get around them. And that's the how and the why the myth came about that, people say, oh, I use 3-foot jumpers, I use 6-foot jumpers, I use 12. Well, none of that matters because every coax has a different velocity factor. And if it boils down to that being an issue, then every piece of coax off of the same spool may have a slightly different velocity factor. So when it boils down to it, what you do is you use barrels and different sized jumpers, and you mix and match jumpers to get the lengths. And then people say, oh my God, no, you can't do that. There's loss in the barrels. Well, who cares? It's the driver's stage. You should hopefully have more than enough headroom to eat up a couple fractions of decibels lost due to the insertion of a coupler. And anyway, that's how it works, and that's why it works.
Yeah, I copied that. Well, I always learn something when I talk to you. Say, speaking of boxes, I haven't heard from BBI. It's been about 6 months or so. Maybe he's just really busy, but thought by now I might have heard something from him, but I'll give it some more time. Like I said, I'm not in a hurry. I just hadn't gotten a hold of me, so one day he'll probably give me a call or send me an email. I put all that information on that, so hopefully he gets some time down here in the near future to kind of go through that thing and see what he thinks. It may be just fine. He may throw it on the bench and say, hey, it's good to go. So we'll find out. But if you happen to hear from him, you might ask him. I hate to call him. I don't want to bother him, because he said, hey, just he kind of did it as a favor, because he wasn't taking any new stuff. So just thought I'd just throw that out there if you happen to talk to him or something. If not, no big deal. I'm patient.
Yeah, 10-4. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind there next time I talk to him, and I either catch him on the air or on the phone, or see what he's doing, and I'll ask him and see how that goes. Probably over the phone, not over the air. But anyway, yeah, very cool. I'm sure he'll get to it when he gets to it, and well, whatever he does, he'll be doing the right thing to it. So anyhow, very cool. By the way, in my audio messing around here, I narrowed up my audio a little bit, so it's pretty flat. But the energy only goes out about down to 27, maybe 285. I'm sorry, 282.5, and up to 27, whatever, 287.5. So anyway, it's a lot narrower. Then it rolls off pretty hard, and I guess I did that with the interest of trying to be a little bit louder, but still have the ability to help, to sound like there's some bass and some high frequency articulation, and not too much of a sibilancy issue, but still enough highs. So I hope that meets all the criteria that break.
Oh yeah, sounds good. I'm looking at you on my SDR, and I noticed it might have tightened up a little bit, but hey, you sound beautiful. I don't notice a significant difference, but if Grandpa's still out there, he can tell you if you changed much, but I didn't notice a big change.
Roger.
I haven't noticed anything, Motormouth. Sounds good.
10-4. Okay, good deal. Yeah, I'm looking at my signal compared to your guys's, and it's about the same width. It used to be a little bit wider. It used to go out 11 kilohertz, just shy of 11 kilohertz total, and now it's quite a bit tighter.
Roger that, Motormouth.
What did we change?
Hey guys, take a standby here. I gotta load some paper in a printer, so I'll be on the side.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, see you later.
Hey, Motormouth. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I just got off the mobile.
Yeah, 10-4. Now you're on a bigger version of the same thing.
Oh no, this is the Secret Robbins radio.
10-4.
858 chip.
10-4.
I remember when everybody discovered those, man. Everybody wanted one.
It had nothing to do with the sound, right?
Yeah, I know. It was what you could do with it, See, it had funnies.
Yeah, 10-4. Now I had funnies with a knob. Where is it here? Here. I add them this way. Oh, you won't see this. Anyway, I'm working my way up the frequencies. And I work my way back down. During transmit or receive, I can change my frequency there. So I can do that all the way down to 100 kilohertz and all the way up to 30 megahertz. So yeah, that's how I do funnies there. LT, one more time, bananas. Motormouth balls stepping right there right now.
Yeah, no, you slide. I have a digiscan. I click.
Oh, I can click too. Here, let me go to a different span. And now I can click. Click, 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 click. That was scanning. Sorry, that was looking at One rate. Now we'll go channels at a time. Click. Click. Yeah, anyway. Any what you call I want, I can do it by clicks. I was just doing it in smaller increments.
It's hard to get small increments.
I can get smaller increments, but this is AM. We don't need all that perfection and absolutism. You know, on sideband, of course, it makes a difference, but we don't do that. Slot bucket. We don't play sideband. And sideband is for people who can't cut it on AM to break.
Oh, I like sideband just to horse around, but yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Is that the way it is?
That's exactly it. When you go to horse around somewhere, you go to sideband. You want to get serious, you go to AM.
Oh, I see. I'm okay with all of it.
10-4.
Hey, hang on, I'll be right back. I just got in here and I'm doing all kinds of weird stuff.
Thanks for the warning.
Motormouth, I'm jumping out for dinner. We'll catch you back later.
10-4, I'm going to do the same thing. In about 6 minutes, I'm going to jump out and get something warm in my belly. Have some soup and some garlic bread and some leftover goodies that I'm going to pilfer and see what there is in the fridge. The soup and the garlic bread is the number one of interest they bring.
Roger that. Just make sure the mouse doesn't follow you.
You know, I think I killed him. I think I got him. I don't know if it was him or not, but I came into the studio and I've got one of these electronic mouse traps. And, you know, I don't have the one anymore. I gave the one up that I had for the Wi-Fi stuff. This one's just electronic, but when you walk by it, it's got a little green light that flickers. It lets you know there's somebody inside. And I looked, and sure enough, got him. So I got one of them anyway. Whether it was him or not, I don't know.
Well, you'll know if you get another one crossing your desk. All right, Motormouth, we'll catch you later.
10-4. I gotta go see what Augie's barking about. He's going nuts.
Roger.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yes, but I heard you in your mobile talking to Motormouth.
Yeah, I was down there by Stoll and College, just testing it. You know, I just started I put it in, and you know, I have a custom mount on the car, so I have an antenna mast, so everything's correct. I just wasn't using a big antenna. Had I used the double strokers, it would have been better. The reason I don't use those, because I'm tired of putting my antennas on and taking them off. And that's it, because I have a tendency to forget to take them off when I drive into my garage.
Yeah, roger that. Well, anyway, you're clear. Of course, you were lower than the mall, way down in the mud from the mall, but I could understand everything you said. No, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's I'm out there running, 5 errands at one time, I've got to do 5 things. I've got to, I got to get some paint for this and some pipes for that, and, the list goes on. And when I get home, I get tired of plumbing sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think Pat talking out here, he might have burned his chicken. He was barbecuing and talking. And I've done this before. I'd be on the radio and my beans are burning out in the kitchen. Well, Pat's barbecuing his chicken, a little brown, maybe black, I don't know. Poor Pat. He and I both have the same luck.